Wake up, everybody.
Wake up, everybody. No more sleeping in bed.
Not some people, but everybody.
Everybody need to wake up.
Everybody.
Wake up.
Especially somebody I know.
Okay. I did.
Listen, what they say, I always say. I don't want to read about myself in the obituary.
Yes,
What that
Lord.
mean? Speaking into existence.
Oh no.
No.
I woke up. I did not.
Oh,
It's
no.
a good, no, it's
don't
a good
wanna,
morning.
Yeah, that ain't nothing you want to
Because
speak
I
into
didn't
existence.
have to read about myself in the obituary.
Yeah, that's what make it a good morning. Listen, y'all. Welcome to the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club.
I need to wake up.
Yes, wake up.
Mr. Edmund. This is your brother John.
This is Kiana.
I am the one and only Mr. Edmund.
And this program is being brought to you as part of the New Image Project of the Community Development and Training Center, aka See That.
See that.
That.
And we would like to thank y'all for tuning in, helping us to redefine what's cool.
That's real.
Caller B, good morning. Shayna, good
Good
morning. Good morning. Thank y'all for checking us out.
Big shouts out to the youth forum doing great work in the
Yes, Lord. Yes, yeah.
Yes,
We gotta,
Lord.
come on in, Caller B. We got to get you back in here,
Come on,
man.
call in.
Let's catch up. Let's
Tap
check in.
in.
Yeah, let's
Tap
check
in.
in one of these days. So, it's GOTV was this past weekend. Early
GOTV means get out the vote.
Yep.
Get out to vote.
So
And
Get,
yesterday,
and get others to vote.
Yes.
right. So yesterday's was souls to the polls.
Souls to the polls.
Get
I
them
see- I see
souls
people
to the
cars.
polls.
Still painted.
Yeah, mine's still painted.
I seen
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I gotta watch my car now because we were sold into the polling.
Big shouts out to the NAACP who did a forum.
Okay.
This weekend
Yeah.
with different candidates.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
It was gangster.
Yeah.
Gangster.
I mean, I'm just saying.
Okay.
I-
Yeah.
It wasn't gangster,
But
I
it was.
mean-
but it was gangster.
Yeah.
All right,
If
so-
you into that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. We was canvassing, we're talking to residents now, knocking on doors,
Beautiful
man.
thing.
Yeah,
thing.
out in the community, really having them conversations.
I really
man.
like Kiana Nails.
Oh,
Okay.
thank you. You know who doing?
Mm-mm.
Kenya Welch.
Okay.
They real fly.
Okay.
She
That's
doing.
what's up.
I mean, honestly.
They got little curves and cuts.
So
and-
yeah, so like my nails is like I like different designs. So if you know them, so I have coffin.
Okay.
My
Coffee.
Coffin.
You got coffee.
Coffin.
Where you got coffee from?
What's coughing?
I'm just
Coffin
messing
is
with
like
you.
the square and it goes in like a coffin.
Okay, this is our nail
I
tutorial.
know
right here.
you ain't just
Yeah.
say you got a coffin on your nails.
No,
Yeah,
that's
so
the
that's
design.
the
That's what they
design.
call it. Coughing.
Right, and then my ring
I
finger.
heard you
We
when
don't
you said
need
it.
none of them.
I heard
And
you when
so
you said
then
it.
my
Take 'em
ring
off.
finger.
Take them off.
My ring finger is a stiletto, so it.
I like the stilettos.
Right?
I like
and
the stilettos.
then my pointers are lipsticks.
Okay, so what's
Oh.
lipsticks?
It looks
Just the-
like a lipstick.
Okay,
It goes,
I got you.
Right, and then everything.
And you
else
can do
is
that too,
coffin.
right? Like you can be
Yeah.
like, I want 2 lipsticks, so 2
It
coffins.
feel like you paid over $100 for those.
I didn't. So if you want, because usually nail techs like get you. Like
Okay.
this right here going to somewhere else with, the different designs,
Mhm.
the colors, the stones, and stuff like that could cost you $85 to $100.
Right.
Somewhere around
Look,
there.
Shayna, like, man, because we started out like talking about elections and then ended up on Kiana's fingernail.
Now hold on, this is the beauty.
Right.
This is the
But
beauty
if you
edition.
Just to like a
But
whole
this-
segment on
This
her.
the beauty
We got a
edition.
fingernail tutorial
No,
right
but
there at
this
the
right here
beginning.
Beauty
cost,
edition.
Look
this
at that.
cost me $65,
Okay.
which is for a full set, which was really reasonable.
Okay.
And she goes in, do her job. She tell you it's gonna
You
take
need a
about
beauty
this
section.
amount of time, and that's what happened.
Okay.
So if you're looking for a good nail tech,
To all the
Kenya-
women that's watching,
Kenya
Yeah.
Welch.
So
the beauty section is
so the health and beauty tip of the day was just brought to you by Mr. Edmund and Kiana. Thank y'all for tuning in.
Man.
Back to our regularly scheduled program.
Yes,
So,
get out the
yeah,
vote.
souls to the
So
polls.
so
Get your
tomorrow,
booty to voting.
so tomorrow is the primary election. The polls are
Yes,
open.
you got one day.
Yeah, so figure it out today. And then it's 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. tomorrow. You can find your polling location by going, you're really looking at your voter registration card. So check your card. It should be on there. And then you can also visit votepinellas.com to find your polling location. And we also have Dr. Keisha Benson is going to come in and talk about her candidacy for school board. Good morning, Pi. Good to see you.
Mhm.
So, yeah, that's what's cooking, y'all.
Carla say her farm hands are good.
Okay, you got good farm hands.
Big shots out to
She got
Carla,
green
man.
thumbs, huh?
The green
Yeah.
thumb.
The green thumb.
And beauty, health, and wellness.
So
Yeah.
listen, if you haven't sent in your mail-in ballot,
Don't send it.
don't send it.
Yeah,
Go take it in.
Yeah, take it in, drop it off.
These
Tomorrow.
these
Yeah,
are
Tomorrow.
yeah, that's right.
Tomorrow.
these are all the tips for people who haven't came up with a voting plan yet.
Yeah.
Right.
So
So
if your plan, what's the voting plan?
listen, if you have your mail-in ballot, don't mail it in. Take it to your
That's part of the
precinct on Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
Polls open at 7:00 in the morning.
Correct.
Right. Figure out the best time for you to go.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's a voting plan. I
right.
hear the voting plan.
If you do not have a ride, phone a friend
Yes.
now.
That's
There
real.
are people that will drive you.
Is that legal?
Yes.
Check
To
the
take
law.
somebody
To take somebody?
to get somebody a ride.
Hey man, listen.
Yeah,
all
but they've been
these-
tripping
listen,
though.
all
They-
these voter suppression laws.
They have
No,
been
no,
tripping,
so
but I
find
don't think
a
they
ride.
stopped
No,
you from
no,
doing
you-
transportation
right,
yet. Though.
so
Not
find-
yet.
Phone a
If they
friend.
could, they would.
Phone a
Session
friend.
next year.
Inbox somebody. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, you can even inbox me, and I will
Okay.
come and take you.
That's my dog.
King Jab used to take rides too. 'Cause I
Yeah.
remember King Jab was
Yeah.
giving out rides,
If you need
man.
to know who to vote for, call me.
Okay, there you go.
I got a whole list.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah,
So, and then we keep on saying we were going to talk about this. So, this may be a good conversation today,
Yeah.
or what you think and the information that you found about these different
Okay.
candidates,
I
right?
think
hear
it's,
that, I hear that.
I think it's tough because it's the way like the different ballots is because Florida is a closed primary state.
Yep.
And
it's a
so
little
it's some
crime,
yeah. So it's a little harder
It's
So
like
to
three
review the
different-
ballot.
What
There's
is a
three-
closed primary? Hold on, because people we moving fast.
Okay.
What is a closed primary?
I'm glad you asked. Florida has closed primaries, meaning that the primary elections for Democrats and Republicans are only open to voters already registered in that party, unless no candidates from another party qualify for the ballot. In that case, the primary is the effective general election, so everyone can vote. So school board races are nonpartisan and they're open to all voters.
Yes,
And they
yes.
will get their mail-in ballot for anybody that's
Yeah.
on the nonpartisan list.
So the
Mhm.
school board is nonpartisan.
Okay.
And they'll be on all voters' ballots. If no candidate secures more than 50% of the vote, the top two vote getters will face off in November. So closed primary basically means you got to be in one of the gangs.
Right. So unless right,
you gotta
so
you gotta
what
rep
happened
red or
is
blue.
That's
you
why I
gotta-
want my, that's why I want my
Oh
gang.
my
I
God.
want my,
You
I
want
want my
you
gang
got-
colors today.
Your affiliation.
You know what I'm saying?
your
Because
affiliation.
political affiliation is affiliation.
Look, I want my gang color too.
Okay, all black.
That's my
We're
color.
gonna
There
be
we
in
go.
all black.
I'm in my
Hey,
gang.
man, listen.
But no, so
Gang,
there's
gang.
three.
I respect what's going on here. I see it.
You see it?
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you yeah. You
hold
just do it.
on,
Just get
hold
on in. Get
hold
on in.
Hop
Hold
on
on.
in,
Let me
hop
jump
on
on
Throw it
in
up,
because
throw it
I
up.
roll with these people, man,
All
every
the
day.
time.
I roll with these people every day. I got on my all black suit.
Man,
Just chill.
Man, we got Jenny Figueroa in the building.
Big
Jenny-
shouts out to the one and only Jenny Figueroa.
man.
See, if y'all don't know nothing about Jenny Figueroa was our co-worker at
Yeah.
several jobs.
Yeah.
So,
We was
well,
the
I-
J Squad.
And,
Wait,
then, and then
wait.
it transitioned from co-worker to like family. So like
Family.
like,
Isn't this how it's all work? We all been co-workers.
Wow.
Yeah, we all at some point.
At some point, we all
yeah.
have been co-workers.
yeah, and we
then-
work so good together.
Wow, that's
But we
so dope.
end up being family.
Family.
Yeah. So what came
That's so
first?
dope.
Was it co-working first or family first? What do we kind of
So
knew
I
each
think,
other
no, I'm
first?
gonna tell you, we kind of did, but I think it was more of like an associate.
Yes,
thing.
we're
Like,
surrounded by
knew-
people.
We knew
Yeah.
about, like, I could say
Yeah.
I knew about, like, I knew who y'all were, but
Yeah.
we never really
Yeah.
had no really in-depth conversation.
Right.
Mhm.
Once we started working together, we
Yeah.
realized how dope we were.
Yeah, it was
That's
on
right.
And
now.
then,
That's
like,
right.
it's just like
It's 727, y'all. If y'all want
it
to know
was
what time
just
it
like
is.
magical how it just
Yeah, and then we just formed a band.
right.
Oh yeah, we've been rocking out ever
We been
since.
rocking
Get
out
up
ever
and
since.
vibing, no more sleeping and
Now we're gonna
bed.
get the
Okay.
no. So yeah, it is 7/27. Today is 8/22/22, August 22nd, and it is the 234th day of the Gregorian calendar year. On this day, Cadillac Motor Company was founded.
No.
What?
Yeah, Cadillac was
Big
formed
shouts out to
on
Cadillac, all the Cadillac riders.
8/22. Pope Paul VI became the first pope to visit Latin America, and Nolan Ryan became the first Major League Baseball player to pitch 5,000 strikeouts.
So when I used to collect baseball cards, Nolan Ryan was one of my favorite
Okay.
players.
So it was, he did something magnificent on this
I
day.
mean, his baseball card was really awesome.
Okay.
Was it worth a lot of money?
Yeah.
Do you still have
It
some?
probably is still.
No, I ain't got no more baseball
Well,
cards.
you weren't
probably
serious
still
about
is.
this.
No, I collect other stuff now.
Yeah, you
Right. got
But I
other
remember-
things you
I'm
into.
a
Cadillacs,
different-
right? You
Yeah.
know, Cadillacs used to be the standard.
It
Yeah.
is, still
Oh, yeah.
is.
Still is.
Still is
We're
the standard?
I don't know.
Okay.
Especially for the pimps.
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, yeah.
But
yeah,
I remember a long time ago, an older white lady and her husband came in. I was serving them at Denny's,
Okay.
and she looked at me and she told me, "If he can't buy you a Cadillac, leave him alone."
Oh.
Ooh.
Okay. All right.
That's
then.
what she told
That
me.
was the
then.
game?
Wow.
She told me if he
If-
can't buy you a Cadillac,
J Squad.
G
Leave him
Yeah,
Squad.
yeah. If he can't buy you a caddy, I used to ride in the caddy, but I didn't know her daddy was the leader of the Ku Klux Klan. Y'all remember that?
No, man,
Yeah.
don't nobody listen to that.
Okay. All right, so a little bit of sad news for the community. Y'all talked about it
Yes,
yesterday, but we definitely
yes.
wanted to take a moment and recognize, and for those who didn't know or haven't heard, the Reverend Watson Haynes, the second longtime leader of the Pinellas County Urban League, recently became an ancestor and he transitioned.
Yeah.
And so, for those who don't know, for more than 50 years, Reverend Watson L. Haynes served as St. Petersburg as a city leader and a community activist. The longtime president and CEO of the Pinellas County Urban League passed on Saturday at the age of 68. He's a native. He grew up in the former gas plant district, which is the current site of Tropicana Field. He was an associate pastor of the New Pleasant Grove Baptist Church. He sat on governing boards for the Southwest Florida Water Management District under Jeb Bush, and then he was also appointed to the Florida Commission on Human Rights by Charlie Crist and Rick Scott. And I mean, he has a long list of accomplishments. He started out as a class president. One of the things that really stuck out for me was that he said that he was mentored by the Reverend Enoch Davis.
Mhm.
And Reverend Enoch Davis kind of took him under his wing, civil rights activist. He actually helped to lead the campaign to integrate lunch counters in St. Pete.
Oh yeah,
You
but
know what I mean? So yeah, big loss to the community. And he just got a key to the city last year. I remember when they did the presentation where they was giving him the key to the city. So
see, he got his flowers.
he got his flowers.
He got his
Yeah.
flowers
he got his
before.
flowers. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
and that's a good thing. And I mean, he's definitely gonna be missed. He definitely
Yeah.
community
his work
asset.
has been done.
Yeah,
You know,
he-
when
yeah.
you think about it, when you pass on, you want to leave this legacy
Right.
and your footprint to be imprinted into not only the people that you love, but the city.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Oh,
the
yeah.
community, if that's what you're about.
Yeah.
Some
That's what
people
you're
don't
about.
care.
Yeah. Some people don't
But
care nothing
you
about
know,
all that.
when you can sit down and sit back and think of all the great stuff that he did, not only for himself but for other
Yeah.
people,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? You can't even be mad at the transition.
Right.
You
right.
know what I mean?
Yeah, because he lived his life.
We want to you want to keep him here, but when we think when your race is done, it's done.
Yeah. Yeah. So run your race, man.
And he did that.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Like just when we talk about public service and the way you live your life, I'm a believer that once you live your life a certain way, you never really die, because he connected himself to principles and
people
work
and
and
places
people
and
and places
things, yeah.
where the impact of his life will always be here. And so we definitely send our condolences to his family members. And,
to the family. Big shots out. Well, this ain't a shout out. I don't know how
Yeah.
to do this.
yeah, we'll just say it.
Well, I'm president of the Urban League Young Professionals.
Yeah,
And Washington is like
yeah.
the
CEO,
head
president,
of all
of
all of it. And he always gave us his commitment. He always like, I'm behind y'all,
Right.
not just in words. I got this checkbook right here, and I'm with y'all. So we're gonna really miss him.
Yeah, real deal, man. Can we do a moment of silence?
Of course.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. Big shouts out to the people who with us, not just in words, but in action.
Yeah,
Action. So
that's
why
how you really
said-
know you with us. though.
That's how I know
so
when
why
you
we
with
talking
us.
about this, and I don't know if you want to talk because you read the article, right? You read the article.
I be
yes.
getting mad.
Okay, so no,
Go
we're
ahead.
going
Okay.
to talk because we're going to
I need
transition
anger.
into
Okay,
that about
yeah.
being with us not only in words but in
They
action.
call it anger management. I need
Right.
passion management.
So yesterday I started to
Manage
talk
your passion,
about
young
the
man.
small win, about them. We didn't win.
Rent
For
control?
the emergency, the rent,
Yeah.
declaring the
Yeah,
emergency.
Right.
declaring- yeah.
We did not win that. And then the article came out and said that they were putting, getting housing, extra housing for
A couple dollars.
a couple
They
of
put,
dollars.
They
But
put
in
money
the
there.
article,
So wait, you said a couple dollars in housing. Is that the budget?
yeah.
I mean,
Well,
no, they
like
getting it
who?
from different places. You know what I mean?
And they mean in the city of St. Pete?
Yeah, the city of St.
Okay.
Pete, they pulling money that was
From
allocated for different things and putting it into
into
housing.
housing. Okay.
So, but the sad part about it, because I
Okay.
was like, yeah,
Yeah,
you
that's
know
what you're
I mean?
supposed to
Like,
do.
you take
Yeah,
it.
if you
But then
assembling the
Yeah.
pieces, yeah.
reading the article, and I didn't read it, so this is
I read
just
some
so
of
we're
it.
gonna do it. It was said, and if I'm wrong, again, we always invite any city
Yeah.
council to come out here and
Staff,
speak.
any one of you.
Anybody to come and speak out on your behalf and
Sound
clear
kind of
up
hostile. I
any,
wouldn't want to know.
Any
If I
one
do
of
that.
you.
I don't know if I
anything
do
to
that
just
if it was
clear
good.
up whatever we read.
Okay.
Because you know.
They call it fact check.
Right. Let's fact check.
Yeah.
But in this article, the city council said that people should have been arrested.
Not the city council.
Hold on.
Okay, this
Ed
is
city-
Ed Montanari.
A city
okay,
council
that-
member.
a
is
city council.
We can say
member.
names, right?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
His
Okay,
name.
we gonna
Yeah.
go there.
We finna talk about it.
Yeah,
I mean, we
sure
really
is.
gonna let's talk about it.
Yeah, let's go.
I don't
Let's
have the
wrap
article.
this
I
up.
wish I had the article. though.
So my main thing is
So Ed said that we should.
So Ed said.
so hold on.
Ed said.
But really what my
Let me see if
main
I can find it.
my main thought is because I hear different city council members speaking about history,
Oh,
especially former chair Ed Montanari.
okay.
He always talk about history, but what he wasn't he skips over the part where those people were sitting at those lunch counters
Right.
here in St. Pete.
This Reverend Enoch Davis
Yes,
and Watson
yes.
Haynes
And,
spot.
and,
Yeah.
and the city council members were saying the same kind of rhetoric that he's saying right now, right? And using it
Ooh.
and attempting to intimidate us to
Ooh.
not exercise our rights. So
peacefully.
Ooh.
So the main thing is I heard him talk about Jefferson and Andrew Jackson. Those people were killing each other.
The founding fathers.
Listen, these
yeah.
people pulled guns on each other and went to busting.
Oh, because this one he was
See,
so you
but-
thought, no, hold on.
So we go from a peaceful protest in St. Pete 2022 to talk about these people shooting at each other over the country.
So again, Ed, you are welcome
okay.
to come over here and
So
speak
wait, so
and clear this up.
y'all taking me around the block now. So
Let's go.
hold on. So yeah, because he was talking about the way that people were showing up on council.
Yes, decorum.
And the
It was about
decorum, yeah.
decorum, but
Because it was passionate.
but what
like,
you do is you skip parts of history and don't mention that
It's-
these people
it's
are trying to
selective.
kill each other.
it's selective.
So it was such a decorum back in the 1670s or whenever this was that they were shooting at each other with muskets.
yeah. But they forget that part of the whole
Yeah,
process.
but it's
yeah.
romanticizing history.
Right.
See, these people were slave owners.
Right.
These people took land from Indians.
Yeah.
Then we romanticize them as if they are gurus or gods.
They're founding fathers.
No,
and they
these
did
are
all these great
thieves.
things.
These are thieves.
Wait,
These are
and if anybody
these are
else know anything else about
kidnappers.
this, call in 727
Pedophiles, yeah.
These are land
637
rustlers. What are you? Oh.
2416.
Yeah.
Again, 727 637 2416.
So in the article,
Mhm.
they were berating the chief for not
I found it.
okay,
There we
okay,
go.
go ahead.
Okay, so here it is. So this is they're referring to how let me just get to the part because there was okay, here we go. After the meeting on last Thursday, because last Thursday they had a meeting
Mhm.
with the Youth and Family Services Committee to talk about right to counsel, tenants' right to counsel. We're going to talk about that in a little bit as well. But it said later during Thursday City Council's meeting with the St. Petersburg Chief Anthony Holloway, Council member Ed Montanari wanted answers on how residents were able to protest 2 weeks in a row by camping outside City Hall. He said there were multiple tents in front of City Hall, and one person was cited for that. Was the permit request put for those tents? Holloway said, let me read the article so the people can have it, and you can give your opinion. Through my department, no, sir,
No.
is what Holloway said. Allendale United Methodist Reverend Andy Oliver was the one with the citation.
I like it.
He said, tell me about the law. If sidewalks are being blocked and there's no permit and the police come and see that, are the tents supposed to be removed? Montanari said. Yes, sir. When I was here, the sidewalk was not blocked, Holloway said. We could only cite one person because he said the tents belonged to him. I made the decision to have tents removed first thing in the morning.
Good decision, Chief.
So the sidewalks were not blocked, Montanari said. This is back and forth now.
Mhm.
Are they allowed to have a tent on the sidewalk?
Put my jacket back on.
No, sir.
Hey, I gotta put my
No,
jacket
sir.
back on.
Holloway said that was my discretion.
Man,
We have a lot of speakers. We had a lot of speakers the next day that said they stayed all night in a tent. Montanari said
that was me.
and Holloway said we guarantee that won't happen again.
Hey, I didn't sleep in the tent. I slept on City Hall steps.
Okay.
Because going back to history, when the gas plant and all that was going on, we had sanitation workers that would march from Jordan Park all the way to City Hall.
Right.
And then they stood on the steps of City Hall. And when they stood on the steps of City Hall, don't you know the city council was disgusted? They started having these brothers arrested.
Yeah.
And if we're gonna go back down that same road, let's go.
Yeah, because you got people that's willing to be arrested.
I mean, listen, that's why we was there.
Yeah.
You know, we
Yeah, it's a protest and a demonstration for real. Yeah.
It's like listen, it's called civil disobedience.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
And there are several acts of civil disobedience: protesting, yelling.
Yeah.
You know, make people uncomfortable, stand on the table. That's civil disobedience.
But no harm. But
no, this is all nonviolent,
nonviolent
civil disobedience.
Correct.
This is what Martin Luther King was getting arrested for.
Because we were championing.
This is what Medgar Evers was getting arrested for, right? This is the stuff.
And the reason that I think this is important is because civil disobedience is when you're challenging laws that are unjust.
Yeah.
And what we were there for was to push them to change or to create a policy to basically just say like this is an emergency. This is a housing emergency.
And the ripples, it riffled. This is one of the ripples from the when the rock hit the water.
Which I mean, it did what we wanted to do, right?
That's right.
But my problem is with Ed, right? He wrote it, so I can just say it.
Yeah,
is that you're going so hard about getting somebody arrested, but you're not going that hard to make sure that those people have somewhere to stay.
Ooh. Right.
So what are you saying?
Yeah.
Like you rather for them to be sleeping on the street and have nowhere to stay, and you rather for them
not protest
to
it either.
get arrested. So you're gonna challenge the chief of police on his job because we didn't hire you for that.
Right.
Nor did you get voted for that.
Right.
Right.
That's
we
right.
voted you to be a city councilman and then go for your community, and then you're telling them to be arrested because we want to be heard.
Because and then the other
I don't know if he said arrested. He said he just wanted justice. See, and that's what we was out there for. So it's ironic that we both want injustice. I thank the chief for allowing us to exercise our rights. And I told somebody
but I think
we have to be allowed to exercise our freedoms,
right?
Because there are mechanisms in place to stop you from your First Amendment right. Right. There's mechanisms in place to stop you from speaking out and speaking up.
And that's the civil disobedience
and
part
that's
of it.
what is that's what is
you're challenging those mechanisms.
Exactly.
Like you saying I'm not gonna go along with it.
Every lever. Try every lever.
He asked him, did he arrest him? He was like,
I don't know if he said arrest.
He wasn't asking for arrest, but he was basically jamming the chief up for not arresting people.
And that's why
it's not explicit. He didn't explicitly say you should arrest them.
But that's how I read it, and that's how
that's what was implied.
And so there we go.
Listen, I was out there, right?
And that's what I'm going.
And you know the chief did come up with that. Right. Yeah. And one of the things that I spoke to the chief, if you see, it's some pictures with me standing with the chief, and I told him,
right,
who sent you out here? Who sent you out here to threaten us when there are so many pictures of people on those steps?
Right.
There's no permits. I'm talking about from conservatives to progressives that get on the city hall steps and protest.
Right.
And I asked him, I was like, well, is it just because it's nighttime?
Yeah.
Because I stood on those steps. I actually met Chief on those steps doing a protest that didn't have a permit.
Right.
And the sidewalk was blocked.
Right.
And I can pull the pictures up. Like I told Chief, I can pull the pictures up. I've been out there. So now this special reason y'all want to come out here and especially come at us, right? Because you ain't did it in the past.
Mm-hmm.
When Moms of Liberty was on the steps, y'all ain't say nothing to them people.
Yeah, and you wasn't jamming the chief.
When the LGBTQ was on the steps, y'all didn't say nothing to them people. So don't come at us left, because now we're there and we're pushing the issue that you may not like.
And I think the other part of it, which hurt their feelings, was the fact that it was tents, because the idea of bringing tents was saying, like, if you don't do something,
we're gonna be on your steps
and don't declare this as an emergency.
We might need to bring churn next time.
We're gonna actually, have
and like see who's gonna arrest the churn.
Yeah.
Well, big shout out to Pastor.
Andy Oliver, yeah.
Oh yeah, he definitely.
Let me tell you,
we got a comment from Miss Teresa. I'd like to read. Miss Teresa said, Montanari must not remember when St. Petersburg police gained negative national news for taking a heavy hand about people living in tents and cut up the tents of the homeless living outside St. Vincent de Paul back in the early 90s. The police have discretion, particularly in every instance. Great job, Chief Holloway.
I agree. Chief, you know, they let us exercise our rights.
I like it.
And it was a conversation. And because
it was a conversation.
It was absolutely a conversation.
And people try to say, "Oh, that conversation is, we against police." No, we finna pay the fines. That if anybody, that's my main thing.
Yeah, and Andy Oliver got to go to court. I think September.
And we gonna go with him if they charge him. We going with him.
So let's go. I want to give a shout out to Andy because one thing is, we have pastors out here, and I'm not calling nobody out, but I'm just giving a shout out to him. Is that in this community, and everybody knows Andy is not our color.
Yeah.
Right.
And they're a white man. Yeah.
He's a white man. Yeah. But when there comes an issue in the black community,
he be in the paint.
He is one of the first people to come and stand up and do not care.
And listen, sometimes I've been in situations where, you know, we were going to get arrested if the pastors weren't there.
Yeah.
Right. It's been clear. It's been straight. Hey, y'all getting arrested in the morning. You know, they call me straight up. Hey, Jabbar, y'all getting arrested in the morning. All right, we'll be there. Right. And we show up with the pastors, and the whole dynamic changed. Yeah. Because who's gonna arrest the preacher?
I remember
they arrested Martin Luther King.
They did, but I remember
Martin King wasn't no white preacher.
Yeah. See, that's another thing.
White privilege has a privilege.
That's what that's the other thing I like about what the relationship with Pastor Andy Oliver is he understands his white privilege,
right?
And he uses it to advance the movement. So like if there's a problem, this is a great example of white privilege being exercised the way that it needs to be exercised.
If they go to arresting people,
because if Jabbar would have said that them was his tents, then it would have been a different outcome,
right?
I think that's just a counterfactual inference.
But remember when George Floyd happened and everybody was marching and they said they were going to be arrested?
That's what I'm talking about.
Stepped up and said, "I will be the first one there," and he led it. And if anybody's going to get arrested, I'm going to be the first.
It was really a group of pastors that were organized, and we marched onto the pier, and they was going to arrest us. Because
y'all hear this, man?
Listen, they didn't want
look, but I don't think a lot of people really know that. Like they kind of know what you do, but I don't think they know like that you do it like this.
But we really was we really was ready to go to jail that time and other times, because like going to jail for the movement is like really what we're supposed to do. Yeah, that's why we bring it to City Hall steps. I mean,
it's necessary.
I mean, it's pictures of people going to jail in the past.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
Joe Savage.
I appreciate y'all, man.
You see the picture of Joe Savage and he laughing while they taking him to jail? Yeah. Listen, come get me. I'm gonna lay on the sidewalk. Y'all pick me up and carry me to the car. Listen, I'm non-violent. I'm just gonna flop.
Yes, sir.
And listen,
I love you for that,
pick me up and carry me to the car.
I love you.
And they gonna bond me out.
Because it takes a certain time.
It's gonna be another charge on the record, but we'll be all right.
If going to jail was like a good thing or bragging right, that is the reason to brag about.
I hear you. That. Like if there was
ever a time to brag about going to jail
for the cause,
that's what you do. You brag about the cause. But I appreciate you, man, and those who with you, like, because I came. But I didn't stay.
Brother John, you came.
I pulled up.
You was.
I stayed out there
2-3 in the morning.
Like 2-3 in the morning.
It was those gangster hours.
Yeah.
When ain't nobody out but
I could not come though, because I couldn't not be there. It was one of those. But I couldn't stay either though.
Yeah. Listen,
you know what I'm saying?
Listen, my plan wasn't to stay. I was gonna leave about 2-3, go home, come back. But I ended up staying all the way because it kind of got escalated. Yeah. You know, and it felt like, okay, well, these people laying and putting their body and time on the line. Right. I gotta stay.
Yeah. And some of these people have houses.
I got a house.
Right. That's what and it's not about like, I mean, honestly, you can
it's for the people though. It's
really
for real.
For the people. We talk about here because I know I'm not looking for no rich place.
It's for people who really don't have a house.
And we feel their pain. So the thing is that
you gotta put yourself in their shoes.
Right.
Yeah.
Because
that's why we slept out there. Yeah. We put ourselves, and I think that's an exercise all the city council members need to do. Stay a night on the streets. Yeah. Chief.
It changes your perspective.
Ed Montanari, Gina Driscoll. I'm calling you names. Yeah. Seth Hanowitz. The whole council. Yeah. Staff. You people who are making these rules about homelessness and making these decisions, go sleep out there one night. Yeah. One night. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. One night. Just stay out there one night and your perspective will change.
Absolutely. Because as I was out there,
your perspective changed.
When we was out there, a brother walked up to us.
You remember the brother?
He was like, "What's going on? What's happening?
Where my tent at? Give me a tent."
Because
For real, he was there.
And he really needed a tent.
Yeah,
like, he was like, oh, okay, I didn't know what the deal was.
It was crazy. It was kind of tense at first, because like, what you talking about, brother?
Yeah.
It was like, what you talking about? And we just ended up rapping.
Yeah, we ended up rapping. He told his story, and he was saying how he ended up homeless. And how he had he was working, had a good job. You know what I'm saying? And had a domestic situation, got into it.
Lost his house, lost everything.
And that's been like a year, and he's still trying to
got out with no charges, all charges dropped, but he ain't got no job, he ain't had nowhere to stay. It was crazy.
And the charge that he got is now showing up when he tried to apply for jobs.
And then he has to go through the whole thing
to get it erased. That's what I talked to him about.
You gotta have a letter already saying that this was thrown out. It's a lot of things it's a lot of hurdles that you have to go through once you get arrested. Even
that's why I say you sleep out there one night.
And I think for me it made the connection between the criminal justice system and homelessness because he's homeless because of the interaction with the criminal justice system.
Just think about how many people cannot apply for apartments because they have a felony.
Yeah, that's true.
They don't allow them to get in apartments, and and then
that feel illegal.
It does.
That's another one of them laws we got to challenge.
It feel like a lawsuit or something need to be brought to these people, because you shouldn't just be able to deny a person because of their criminal background.
Right. Right.
Because you can't deny me if my income coming from somewhere else.
Yeah.
You can't deny me if I'm black versus white.
Yeah.
But now you can deny me if I got a felony.
Well, they're not supposed to deny you if you're black and white.
But they they do.
Yeah, they do. And
they segregate you with the cost though.
They do.
$100 application fee.
Oh yeah. So here's a silver lining in that whole struggle, I guess. And we talking about steps towards more reality. So St. Pete pushed for a tenant's right to counsel. We talked about
Take my jacket back off.
Is this Monday or Friday? This feels like a Friday.
Take my jacket back off.
We carrying over this on Friday. Okay,
the views that are expressed is not a 99.1
nope.
chance.
It
It's up to Tampa Bay breakfast.
Call me.
Yeah. Especially when he take his jacket off. Those views are not nobody.
Go ahead, finish what you're saying.
So on Thursday last week, St. Pete's Youth and Family Services Committee heard from the city's legal department about creating a citywide tenants' rights to counsel program. Council member Richie Floyd brought the issue to the committee back in April. Thursday was the second meeting on the Right to Counsel, or RTC, a program that has shown eviction reductions as high as 84% in the city of New York.
84%.
Yep. So it's been a long few weeks for housing advocates, of course, in Florida, and so seeing that there's motion on this right to counsel is I guess.
We got motion.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
The conversation's continuing, and but they said it's gonna take a long time because what's happening is they got to figure out how to pay for it.
But really, I think it's will.
Yeah,
right.
You just got to figure out how to pay for it.
And the issue is, just like we had that emergency council meeting that they said we could never have.
Let me just back up real quick. So, the summary of right to counsel is saying people who are facing evictions
deserve an attorney.
Usually, when you go to court, it's the landlord or their attorney and you. The right to counsel will actually have you get some paid representation so that you're not trying to fight the system
like a public defender.
And
it's like a public defender for evictions.
For evictions, and in New York, they've seen 84% reduction in evictions because when you got somebody that can speak up for you,
and a lot of times
end up standing in your place.
A lot of times it's flimsy.
Yeah,
the evictions ain't solid.
Yeah,
but some of them are.
Some of them are. But I'm saying, listen. But
some of them are.
That's why we being real.
That's why we balance.
We being 1,000.
That's why it's balanced.
That's why it weed out the BS.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When you have an attorney, everybody know when you go to court, if you have representation, you usually get a better outcome. Right. That's why you have a attorney or a public defender when you go to criminal court.
Yeah.
So we figure, that it should be here. We should have,
and the data supports that.
And it does.
And I'm gonna tell you, the thing is about tenants, right? So we want everybody to stay in their house.
What about tenants?
Flip the pancake, right?
All of them know all these laws and not pay their rent.
That's right.
That ain't really true sometimes.
But
some
go
of them
ahead, unload
it.
Go ahead.
They take it upon themselves to not pay other people. And on the
game
flip
the
side,
system.
Now on the flip side of this is that if you're renting a house from somebody, right, they still have a mortgage to pay.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Taxes,
they
insurance,
got all of that other stuff. So we don't want price gouging. But if you in somebody's house or in an apartment, you should pay your bills if everything is done right.
So I'm glad you spoke, and that's why I love talking to y'all, because we bounce ideas off each other.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe we need to have a community conversation with landlords and tenants.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So because
I like that.
the main thing that we had in there, it felt like it was us against them.
Yeah.
And each one of us have issues in this arena that we might be able to help each other with.
Yeah.
Right. And having a conversation with the realtors.
Yeah.
We can bring out, Ed. We can bring out council members for real.
Yeah.
And we can have a controlled dialogue and be first a minute.
Yeah.
And start really trying to see our way through
Map out
this.
some
Because
solutions.
nobody's
Exactly.
saying not to go
Together.
up on no, because nobody's saying not to go up on your rent.
I think everybody understands this stuff. So
But,
after
yeah,
talking to
it's-
people,
yeah.
I feel people understand it, from the tenants to the landlords, because there's landlords out there, there's tenants out there.
Yeah.
I feel people understand it, but it is like an artificial wedge between landlords and tenants.
Right.
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 There's already static between those two relationships.
Yeah.
So as a community, like what we should do, have a community conversation. Let's
resolve the
let's
conflict.
peel the onion.
Resolve the conflicts between landlords and tenants and come up with some real housing solutions
That we can take to the city council together.
Yeah,
and see, that's blasphemous in some of these arenas.
to actually sit down and meet and
To
talk.
sit down with the devil?
Yeah, that's true. That
Listen,
is.
but
So who's the devil?
I don't know, because on
Depend
both
on-
sides,
depend on what side you on.
exactly. You
Depend
feel
on
me?
what side you on.
Which one is the devil? But no,
You got
it
some
is.
landlord tendencies.
No, because there are some. There's some
it's
bad,
both.
it's
It's
bad
nightmares
landlords
and
out
bad
there,
tenants.
and there's bad tenants. Because
There's more good ones than bad ones, and that's what I want to do.
I will
in
say
everything.
there
I want to put
is.
the good ones
The
together,
good ones is,
and we can figure out a
because
path forward.
you have real estate.
Yes.
You have,
Yes.
and so you rent out property,
Yes.
right? And
and sleeping on the steps of City Hall saying don't gouge people for rent. Like
right, and so
and then we got other landlords
It's
that's
a
a part of the thing.
Yeah, that helped us figure this stuff out.
Yeah, like
y'all
really.
don't even know. It's
You-
like
yeah,
they
we
think
got
it's just a room full of people who rent and know it's owners, it's real
landlords.
estate people, it's
All
people
the
with
above.
passion that care about the people,
Yeah.
and we want to figure something out. People still want to get paid.
yeah,
people do want
People
to get
still
paid.
want to get paid. Don't get it twisted.
yeah.
And we want to help them get paid. But what we want to do is keep people from being evicted for reasons that can be controlled.
Yeah.
Right,
That's it.
That's not out of your control.
We can
Because-
help
and
get it
listen,
paid if they need to get it
If
paid.
you need to get evicted, I'm with you getting evicted. I'm gonna say that, right? No, I'm gonna say that.
If
You
you
can't
need to
say
get
that.
evicted.
Yes, I
You
can.
can't say
You
that.
can't tell me what to
See
say.
Ed can come up here with us.
You can't tell me what to say.
we gonna get you locked up, whatever it takes.
No, I'm not saying that.
If
But-
you-
but-
It is.
no, because we
I-
have
listen,
good
let me see if I'm hearing you right. Let me hear.
Go ahead, go
What I'm
ahead.
hearing you say is there are tenants
That deserves
who are breaking rules and agreements, the terms of their lease.
Right.
And you correct.
And when you do that,
You get
you need to
That's
some
correct.
action. There's a consequence.
That's correct.
And that
Correct.
consequence in an eviction.
That's correct.
And,
though.
and if you like, because you got tenants that just not good tenants, right?
Right.
And so those tenants do
That's
need
good,
to
though.
be evicted.
That's all I'm
Yeah,
saying. Like,
yeah.
I'm
But you
not-
just said it real tough and rough.
Because
in
I
the- in
meant
the paint right
no.
now.
Let me tell you why.
In the
I
paint
said
right
it
now.
because I
Oh
say
my
it
God.
tough and rough when
Cause I
I'm
mean
saying
it.
no. I say it tough and rough when I'm like we don't need to price gouge, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's right.
But I'm going hard for everybody.
Yeah, don't
else
price
over here.
gouge. Yeah.
No, and I was real hard. I just called Ed out. I said, Ed, bring your tail in here.
Yeah.
Talk to us, right?
But you also got to call out
But
the
then
tenants
I
too.
gotta call out the tenants too, who
Yeah.
not doing their job and taking advantage
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
the situation.
I mean, that's 1,000 though. That's,
because
that's
all tenants are not like.
and see,
know,
we ain't
on the
finna bash
receiving end.
tenants
Yeah,
here. We
yeah,
ain't finna be bashing tenants. What we is gonna do, because on both sides,
Yeah, that's
you
true.
got people who doing unscrupulous
I'm
things.
bashing
think-
everybody.
but I
I'm
think-
bashing anybody that's bad.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing for me. The thing for me is the impact of what you're doing, because the impact the impact of a tenant's bad decision usually just impacts them and their family. The impact.
Not true.
Hold on. The impact of a city council member who they have more reach.
I get what you're saying.
You know
I
what
get
I'm
what you're
saying?
saying. I get
And
what
so your bad decision as a council member or as an elected official
reverberates more.
reverberates, because now that one tenant that got you upset, you made a policy based upon that's going to impact hundreds or maybe thousands of other tenants that are not in that situation.
Listen, I
That's
really-
what I think.
I really want to
injustice is.
have a
You
field
read
trip.
what Mr. Reese
I really
just
want to
said.
have a field trip or a team building exercise where we go and sleep outside with the homeless. Take elected officials, staff, people who are making decisions, let the mosquitoes bite you. You know what I'm saying? Let the rain.
My little tent.
Listen, I had my tent. The rain flooded my tent out. So it showed you a reality, right?
Yeah,
it showed you.
That was on me. I thought it was a tent. It wasn't a tent.
It was a gazebo.
It's a beach canopy.
And I just bought some
it was a beach canopy
just to go outside. They were
but
$10
listen,
at Target.
Let's take Miss Teresa's comment. You got it, Kiana? What does it say? Which one are you reading? Kiana, you're absolutely right. Pay your rent if you have the ability to pay.
Yeah.
My landlord gave me 4 months notice of the increase, and I understood the need to increase rent, and I gladly pay it on time. I've been a tenant for 15 years, and we have mutual respect for each other. And then the other part of the comment, she said, there's good and bad tenants for sure, even when the rent is being paid by a third party.
Yep.
Yeah.
See,
and that's it.
And I'm gonna say this. I still want to say this. I want to go out and sleep under the stars with elected officials.
Okay.
Right? The people who making decisions, we can go get county commissioners. Like, this is for real.
Yeah.
If you know elected official, call them and say, we want to do this. Because I gained a different understanding. I done slept outside before. That wasn't my first time sleeping on the streets.
Yeah.
I done slept in a car before. No, it's a difference.
Yeah.
It's a difference. I'm telling you.
But
that rain came and it wasn't nowhere to go.
Yeah. No, that was a reality check, boy. Because when I pulled up, that's when it started raining, and I almost didn't get out. I was like, man, what am I?
Man, listen, when the rain came, and think about it, I had somewhere to go. I could go home.
Hello, Pastor Andy.
Yeah, there we go. There we go, Pastor Andy. Speak of the pastor,
social
and he will appear.
No, but for real, and thank you, Andy. But for real, we really have to do something about this issue, because if you look at other places, other cities, other states, it's getting tragic. They have big homeless encampments, right? I went to we did a movie in Los Angeles.
Was that Art in the City?
No, it was Agent X1.
Okay.
And we was in Burbank somewhere. We was like really in Hollywood, California. On the side of the road, it had to be 50 people in cardboard boxes, tents, like a whole encampment, right? And then I'm like, wow, they would never let that happen here in St. Pete. And then now we come back home, and the makings of it is written on the wall.
Yeah.
And
the handwriting on
the handwriting on the wall.
I talked about when I went to Arizona recently.
Dr. Benson said she outside.
Okay. And then we got to take a break anyway. But Arizona has a huge homeless population.
Oh, because you was just out there,
huge. Like, it was really like sad, and like I just couldn't believe how many people was homeless and in that heat.
Right.
It was crazy, but we're gonna take a break. We're gonna come back.
We gotta take
after
a break.
Democracy Now, right?
It's been really heavy this first segment, so we're gonna talk about education. And we got the candidate for school board District 3 countywide, Dr. Keisha Benson in the building. You're listening to the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club right here on 99 Jams. We'll be right back after hearing some headlines from Democracy Now. Appreciate y'all.
That was a good conversation.
WJM, St. Petersburg.
Physics paint factory searching for a definition of whiteness and the ultimate white.
This is the BBC World Service, the world's radio station.
Hello, today we're in Pakistan, where supporters of the ousted Prime Minister Imran Khan are at his house trying to prevent his arrest on anti-terrorism charges. Also today with me, Nick Miles, at 12 hours GMT. After 2 years of COVID restrictions, schools
is in the process of arresting 20 individuals across the state for voter fraud.
We'll go to Orlando to speak with Desmond Meade, president of the Florida Rights Restoration Coalition. This comes as a federal judge in Florida has blocked key portions of the state's new Stop Woke Act that restricts race-based discussions and analysis in workplaces and schools. We'll speak with Florida State University professor Diane Roberts in Tallahassee, whose new Washington Post op-ed is headlined, "DeSantis aims to scare academics. Unfortunately, it's working." Then we'll talk to one of the hundreds of Google workers with the Alphabet Workers Union who've signed a petition demanding the company protect the location and browser history of people searching for information on abortion and block advertisements that misleadingly direct users to anti-abortion so-called pregnancy crisis centers. All that and more coming up. Welcome to Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, the War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman. At least stormed an upscale hotel in Mogadishu Friday, beginning a 30-hour siege. Somali officials say at least 117 people were wounded. Authorities accuse members of the group Al-Shabaab of attacking and seizing the hotel at 7 p.m. local time Friday. An intense battle for control of the hotel lasted until Saturday night. It was the first large attack in Mogadishu since Somalia's new president, Hassan Sheikh Mohammed, took office in May. The attack in Somalia comes at a time when the country's on the brink of famine. The head of the World Food Program, David Beasley, visited Somalia last week, warning the humanitarian crisis is intensifying.
Climate change is impacting the entire world, and where I stand here in the Horn of Africa is absolutely no different. We're now looking at 20 million people marching to starvation in the Horn of Africa. In fact, where I stand in Somalia, 7 million people, and that's twice as many as it was just 6 months ago. Why? Conflict, extremist groups, coupled with the driest season that we have seen in decades. 4 or 5 rainy seasons have just disappeared.
In other climate news, monsoon rains have triggered flooding and mudslides across northern India in recent days, inundating hundreds of villages and leaving at least 50 people dead in neighboring Pakistan. Weekend flooding killed 36 people, while heavy rains brought flash floods to eastern Afghanistan, destroying thousands of homes, killing at least 20 people. In Sudan, officials say flooding has destroyed over 14,000 homes, claimed 77 lives during this year's rainy season. Here in the United States, a new study finds the climate crisis has doubled the chance California could be hit by a mega flood that would bring widespread catastrophic flooding across virtually all of California's lowlands. Police in Pakistan have charged former Prime Minister Imran Khan under Pakistan's anti-terrorism laws. This comes just a day after Pakistani authorities banned television stations from broadcasting Khan's speeches live. The charges against him stem from a speech he gave on Saturday when he accused police officers of torturing one of his close aides who was jailed on sedition charges. Imran Khan was removed from power in April in what he described as a form of U.S.-backed regime change. His political party remains popular. In July, members of the PTI won 15 of 20 seats up for grabs in an election in Pakistan's most populous state. A prominent Russian journalist died in a car bombing outside Moscow Saturday. Daria Dugina is the daughter of the ultra-nationalist Russian philosopher Alexander Dugin, who's a close ally of Russian President Vladimir Putin. Many believe Alexander Dugin was the intended target of the attack. He and his daughter had been at a cultural festival prior to the blast, but they left in separate cars. Both Alexander Dugin and his daughter were vocal supporters of Putin's decision to invade Ukraine 6 months ago. The Ukrainian government's denied any involvement in the car bombing.
All right, y'all. Welcome back to the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club. I'm your brother John.
This is Kiana.
I am the one and only Mr. Edmond.
And we have a very special guest in the building. We have candidate for School Board District 3 countywide, Dr. Keisha Benson. Let's give her a round of applause.
And so for our faithful listeners, you know, we rep 2 people.
Yeah.
2 people on here.
Yeah.
Every Monday, Wednesday, and now Friday,
yes.
right?
Yeah,
and even on Sunday, that we say as the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club, not 91 Jams, who to go vote for, right?
Yeah.
Caprice Edmond and Keisha Benson.
Yeah.
It has not changed, and it ain't gonna change.
Nope.
And now we got her here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so much for
Welcome.
coming. Appreciate you. So for those who've been in the bubble and they don't know who Dr. Keisha Benson is, let's do your self-introduction.
Hello, my name is Dr. Keisha Benson, formerly Keisha Dunbar. I was born and raised right here in St. Petersburg, Florida. So my family's been here for over 100 years. My grandfather owns a corner store by Melrose Elementary. My grandmother was one of the nurses to Integrate Mercy Hospital. My mother was an educator here for 37 years. So we've been here doing this work in the community.
Deeply rooted.
I'm excited to continue that.
Deeply rooted.
That feels good.
It do.
To be able to say
Did
that.
it kind of put like hairs?
Listen,
like,
I heard it and I seen it, but
Yeah.
it didn't hit hard like when you just said it.
Yeah, like my family been here for over 100 years.
My grandmother's turning 97 soon.
Y'all just
Wow.
Y'all just pulled up.
So that's good. So it's clear that you have conversations with your grandmother so that you can be in touch with that type of history.
Absolutely. That oral history is so important. And I grew up the whole generation of my family. So my aunts and great aunts and uncles, one taught me how to sew, one taught me how to play the piano, and just that richness of being with that part of my family and that history. So
Yeah, no, I love that. I love that. And so your path to becoming a candidate for school board, like how did you get to this place where you decided that you was going to run to be a school board member?
So I went to K through 12 in Falls County. I was bused out to Starkey Elementary, so I was a product of busing. Southside Fundamental Middle School, which is now Midtown Academy.
Yeah.
And then also Lakewood CAT program. So when I finished up, because I had a history teacher that was an HBCU graduate, Reuben Hepburn, the former principal of Gibbs, that passed away recently. He really encouraged us about HBCUs. So I went off to FAMU, did my undergrad and graduate degree in business, and then did my second master's and PhD in social work at UNC Chapel Hill. And so I've been a college professor for the past 10 years, working with children and family for over 25 years. And then I moved back home 4 years ago, my family. I have 3 young children, my husband, and all 3 of them enrolled in Pinellas County schools.
Right.
So I got back 4 years ago, and I started asking a lot of questions.
Yeah.
Things were really different. I saw some beautiful development within our city. But then when I went to South St. Petersburg and other parts of the county, I didn't see the same things.
Right.
So I started wondering what happened there. And then also with our schools, I had a rich, robust, diverse education growing up here. And my kids' schools experienced more segregated than it was when I went to school. So started asking questions about those things, got involved in the community. And since then, I've run several programs, economic development for the city of St. Petersburg, Got to Grow Smarter, Birth to 5, Thrive by 5 Pinellas.
Yep, I saw you a CRA.
Yes, I'm
member.
the vice
Wow.
chair of St. Petersburg CRA right
Get
now.
out
The
of here.
CAC. Yeah, the CAC.
The CAC.
Right now?
Yeah, right now.
Yeah.
I've been there for almost 3 years now.
Yeah.
Look, you've been moving.
See, you ain't been to the meeting. See, I
So
haven't
what
been
she
either, but I
said-
watched. Though.
But what she's saying is she got here 4 years ago and she hasn't stopped working.
Yeah, she got
Oh,
here
yeah.
and like really came in.
Jump feet first.
Yeah, really
Yes.
jumped in.
So I would say for me in January, I saw that Dr. Nicole Carr came out of the school board race.
Yeah.
And I went to see who was running. And as I saw that, I saw some things that were just divisive for the school board. And with 3 kids in the district, it concerned me.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, someone needs to run. And here I am.
Hey, you know what? I like that. When you somebody need to run,
Somebody
then you
needs
looked
to
in the
run.
mirror.
I resigned from my job immediately. And I've been running for the past 6 months. And so far, the campaign has raised the most money across all 4 school board races. We got the most endorsements, but that means nothing if people don't know our name on
That's
Tuesday.
right.
Tomorrow
That's
when they
right.
go vote.
Yeah.
Yes. It don't mean nothing if y'all don't vote tomorrow.
Again, so if you have that mail-in ballot, take it
in.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And so when I was looking at your website, you had the vision for Pinellas County Schools. You kind of talk about that, but then you're also talking about fighting for public education. Would you mind saying something about that particular point of your platform when you say fighting for public education? What do you mean by that?
Absolutely. I feel like public education is kind of that foundation and catalyst for people. I know that you were just kind of thinking about when we want to look at generational advancement, when we want to think about the future of children coming out having a living wage in this county, being able to afford rent, be able to afford food. I mean, a lot of that comes with a public education.
Just that mic.
Oh, sorry. Thank you. Much of that comes with public education. So making sure that that foundation is strong, making sure that our children know their history, that they know the past in this county, in our community, in our state, in our country, ensuring that they have the information they need to be successful and to go out and become productive citizens in our county moving forward.
Nice. And then safety of schools has been like a big topic, and with the school shootings and that kind of stuff. So how as a school board member, what are your thoughts on that? And what's your position on like arming teachers? Should teachers have guns and all of that kind of stuff? What's your thoughts on the school safety issue?
I always think about safety as being multifaceted. So of course we talk about school shootings and the pieces of what that looks like. I know that the district has a really strong plan around what that looks like, and every year they go in and reassess the schools and what that plan is. I think it's some of those pieces of it getting back to, if we talk about SRO officers, making sure that they're able to go off and do what they need to do around safety, and they're not in the classroom handling basic discipline issues.
Okay.
So,
Yes.
that those things are in place. Also ensuring that there's a clear plan of action, that students, when they're having these drills, that they're trauma informed, so they're not being traumatized
By the drill,
by the drills themselves.
Wow.
What it looks like.
Deep.
Their parents know all
Wow.
of their rights.
Let's slow down
No,
on
definitely.
that. Let's slow
Double
down.
click.
Let's double click on that because I didn't think about that.
Oh, yeah,
That's
yeah.
something I didn't think about.
Yeah.
Like as we are preparing students for active shooter scenarios.
It's trauma. It's traumatized.
Yeah, but because I remember we used to do the
Fire
drill. What was it? Duck and cover.
Duck and cover.
Duck and cover.
You know-
And then we had
you know
the
what I'm saying?
fire drill.
We had the fire drill, but I used to like the fire drills. It was trying to get out of class and all that
Right.
stuff. Like it was like a fun thing because it wasn't a real fire. But when you got like an active shooter scenario,
Yeah, that's crazy.
I didn't really consider
Because-
the impact that would have on a student.
Yeah, and when you say that, you think about it is that like you want kids to be kids, but so much stuff is happening, and now we're preparing them, and now we're they're on edge at school. So how can they be kids with all this stuff?
No, absolutely. I have 3 little ones at home, and we're having these deep conversations. We're talking about when shootings occur and what that means, and how to keep yourself safe. And if you see something, say something. And I mean, we're in a different season right now. Even with there's this big kind of controversy around social emotional learning, but that came into school district because of the Parkland shooting.
Yeah,
and understanding
social emotional learning.
Social emotional learning. And people talk about it in different ways, but I go back to, I know grown adults that don't have good social emotional
I was just gonna say that helped me when I learned about it
No.
and helped me cope and deal with stuff.
As a parent,
that's just an adult.
Yeah, 70% of my time with my kids talk about big feelings and emotions.
Yeah.
And how do you handle those things? And it's okay to be upset or angry.
But you say big feelings.
Yeah. Big feelings.
Yeah, because you got small feelings and you got big feelings. Right?
We got a lot of big feelings.
Listen.
We got
a lot of big feelings.
Big
right
feelings.
So being mindful as a social worker that we're doing the trauma-informed approach. So kids, they know what's happening and that they have the resources around them that if they feel a certain way about it, they can talk through it.
Right, right. No, I love that. Help me out, y'all.
So my question is, what's a good story that you've encountered on the trail? Like since you've been campaigning, I know you're talking to people, going to houses. What?
So I think one of the things I've talked to a lot of educators. I've talked to a lot of school personnel. I've talked to the bus drivers that said, "Hey, I can't afford to feed my family." I've talked to the school social worker that said, I'm working between 2 schools. I see all these issues with kids, and I'm talking to people, but no one's listening. So I'm leaving the district. I've talked to educators that say, I love what I do, but it's hard to be here right now. And I mean, of course, everyone has. I think people are hopeful. They're hopeful. They want to be here for our students. They're excited about their learning. And a big part of me in my campaign is just resourcing. So thinking beyond the classroom and what do school personnel, parents, and students need, whether it be looking at food insecurity. We know that the state was and the federal government was providing funds for food for all children
for the lunch,
right?
And they're backing off of that in some schools now. They're bringing the program down. So hundreds of parents got on the school district side and said, "I can't afford to feed my kids." We're thinking about the rental rates right now. We know we're the 4th highest rental rates in the nation.
Yeah,
and people are just struggling to live and pay their mortgages.
The 4th highest in the nation.
And with the lunches, because that was I realized that when COVID happened, right? Remember that's how we ended up connecting with Miss Patty.
Feeding lunches.
We did the Love Lunch program
at the foundation
and
in the parking lot.
And I took for granted how hungry these kids.
Oh no, it was real. The first day,
because when we set up that program and we said
first day,
if your children need, and we went door to door talking to people saying, "Come here, and we got free lunch for you." Man, that line was like swinging, and I was
first day.
It blew my mind how many families and children actually needed that service. I didn't.
It became a regular thing.
Yeah, it was supposed to just be for like spring break.
Feeding Tampa Bay ended up coming in because it was such a need.
They did it for a while.
Yeah,
it was such a need.
I think we did it we started in March and we ended it in like August.
But they kept going.
Yeah.
Feeding Tampa Bay and Eric Atwater, big shots.
Yeah, shout out to Eric Atwater.
Same thing in the summer. You see the parks and recs in the city.
Yep.
I didn't realize it.
Yeah. Some students don't
have
food over the summer.
Yeah, I got an idea.
All right, but
don't worry about it. I can't say it live.
Okay.
I can't say it live.
I thought you was about to give us some breaking news.
But I got it.
No. He shouldn't say it live.
Let's let the people know you're listening to the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club, and it's right here on 99 Jams, the new 99 Jams morning show. And as a community-owned public media resource, we rely on the support of listeners like you to keep the shows that you like on the air. Long story short, we need you to break bread.
Break bread. Send it in, man.
No, we need the money.
For real, send it in.
It's community owned. Y'all know what community owned means, right? That's us. And so if you haven't been contributing as a community owner, we need you to contribute
because it's yours
as a community
feel
owner.
Ownership.
Yeah, absolutely.
And who's gonna let us get on here and talk this smack early in the morning?
Yeah.
Right. If you want,
and
talk smack down
and name names.
We got his names on the article.
Right. So we didn't
read the name.
Real talk. So if you want to donate, you can go to 99jamstheberg.com, click on the donate button. We're talking with school board candidate for District 3 countywide, Dr. Keisha Benson. One of the things I wanted to ask you too, and I noticed this like on all of the things that you put out is school board District 3 countywide. Why do you think it's important to continue to say that and make people aware of that?
No, absolutely. So the school board has 7 seats overall, and 4 of those seats, 4 are up for election right now. So it's a really, really important.
How many countywide?
Overall, there are 3 seats in the board are countywide, 2 seats up for election this year are countywide.
So it's 7 seats, 3 are countywide, and 4 districts.
And two of them are countywide, right?
Okay, so on this election, out of the 4 seats, 2 are countywide
Okay.
and 2 are district specific.
But it's 3 countywide in total on the 7.
Yeah, so the other countywide is Laura Hine, who's not for election this year.
Okay.
She'll be up in 2 years.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
That's a civics lesson.
Yeah.
Because people don't know
And
how the
so
school
the
board
importance
works.
of
No, it's
that
me.
is-
I'm people. That's
the
why I
point-
asked that.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The importance of that is countywide means that there's 700,000 voters. So that means the full county elects these for my seat.
700,000?
700,000. So my seat is larger than some House districts in a sense. So we have to be mindful of
Wow.
what that looks like. And it takes a lot of resources to be able to reach across the county. That's why you have to raise so much.
How many
Why are
people-
you raising money?
How many people vote? Maybe 30,000, 50,000?
The interesting thing is, I think in the primary election, normally about 30% of that comes out
Mhm.
for the primary. And then
Yeah.
of course,
30% of
30%
700,000?
will come out for the primary election.
So what that is?
Right
140?
now,
That's
I think we were up to
200,000?
about 20% of yesterday. So we'll
Yeah.
see how many come out.
Oh, it's 20% done voted already?
Yes.
So
You're
look,
mail-in
that's
ballots, early voting. Yeah.
That's why they be trying to start
And
mailing
you
ballots.
keep on saying
Because that's the
county-
race.
You keep on saying countywide because you don't want people just in our district to vote for you. You want everybody. in
Every
the county.
Pinellas County.
So because when you look at city council,
Correct.
usually people vote for
Their
their
district.
district and then they don't expand
Mhm.
out. And
'Cause
we
there ain't no
need people
countywide.
to know that it's countywide. So this is everywhere,
Good
and
stuff.
it just doesn't stop.
And
with
St.
you.
Pete,
You done
Brown
did this before.
Harbor. And then people don't realize. People always say,
Maybe just a little.
people say, I'm not in your district. I'm like, if you live in Pinellas County,
You my
can
district.
vote for me.
Okay, that's
Right.
why that's important.
The
Yeah.
because-
entire district. Everybody's active.
Okay, no, that makes sense to me, and I also think it speaks to the need for us who supporting you to really go and support, like what you said, not just support in words, but support in actions. Like we,
Oh, yeah, that's the theme of the day.
We need these votes because, like, you can say, yeah, go ahead, run, Dr. Benson, but it's a countywide seat, which means it's gonna require a lot more of our support
Yes.
to get you across the finish
And I
line.
wanna-
The other piece I want to say
Go ahead.
also is just representation. So there has only ever been one African American in the history
Countywide?
of Pinellas County School Board to hold a countywide seat,
Wow.
and that was Nina Hayden about 15 years ago. So we have to be mindful of what that means and the importance of that and having additional representation on the school board.
No, you got me thinking. Yeah, I forgot about that Pinellas County dynamic where,
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
like
Good old boy network.
what was it, 2020? I think county was 2016. Pinellas County went with Trump, right?
Oh,
Just-
yeah.
just-
Every year we're going to go with Republicans.
Uh,
But listen, not every year.
No.
but listen,
but
this
I,
what I
but
wanna
I just
say.
want to
I
lift
mean,
that
but
up.
We
like-
are conservative. We're a conservative county.
Pinellas
Let's be straight to
County
1,000.
Overall goes red, right?
Yeah, we conservative.
But we do have some spots that will turn blue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? And it's just
We do have
really
blue spots, but
we
it's
do have blue spots here,
Yeah.
but it's really hard in
Yeah.
Pinellas County. It
Yeah.
really, really is
we
hard.
conservative.
Yeah.
But this is what I want to say.
Not
I want to thank you
impossible,
for running because maybe a year or 2 years ago, we were doing an asset map on different people who could be candidates, who could step up, and your name was one of the names that came up.
Yeah.
And to see you running 2-3 years later, I'm like, okay, good stuff.
Right.
Because win, lose, or draw, we have to throw our name in the hat.
And I like that what you said too. You was looking at who was running, and
And
you said
we
we
like
need
it,
somebody to run, and,
Yeah.
and it's like that whole man in the mirror, mentality.
I was
Like-
actually looking at man. And then also it goes back to school boards and nonpartisan race. And I want people to realize
Yes.
Yeah.
at the end of the day, I've been doing this work. It's not like I just showed up.
Yeah.
I've been in the community.
This is not a
working.
career path for
This
you.
is
Like
not
you
a
had a
career path for
successful
me. This-
career. You
I was
good.
good.
Dr.
you
Keisha
know.
Benson.
Yeah,
This
for
is
real.
to serve my community
Yeah.
to be able to stand in the gap in that sense. And at the end of the day, I am the most qualified candidate for this.
Yeah.
Look,
yeah, yeah.
Period.
Period,
Straight up.
poo.
Period.
It ain't
Don't
no
forget.
gas.
Don't forget to say that.
Look, not no gas, not no. I don't really know. No, I am.
This is inspiration.
Yeah.
After talking to one of the congresswomen that came down and she told her story.
Mhm.
Cori Bush.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Cori Bush. She came down, she told her story, and it's like the exact same thing. She didn't see anybody running, and she became the person to run.
And she actually didn't want to run.
She lost 3 times.
She didn't want to run.
Listen,
because
she
her
lost 3
father
times.
Was in politics,
Yep,
and she
and
saw
got
the
burnt.
good and the
Yep,
bad,
yep.
and she saw how
Mhm.
how bad it could be, and said she never want to do it. And then
Yep.
somebody else came to her and said,
Yep.
"Yo, we need you."
Yeah.
And she
Mhm.
was doing the work. She just wasn't
Yep.
the front runner of
Yep.
it. And then
Man, that sounds familiar. That's what
Listen.
they be telling me.
Listen, the lady ran 3 times. So I've been heard her story, but I thought she won the first time. So when I first heard about it, she didn't win.
Right.
She lost 2 more times and then came out with the victory.
Right.
because
right.
the people and the work.
The people, it was really
It was-
that's what she
it-
said.
And it was her work.
She
Her
just
work
went to jail.
spoke for herself.
Yeah, she just went to jail a week before and got elected that week.
Wow.
So she went on vacation. She came here, but she was like, "Hey, I got locked up on the steps." So Yep, on the steps by housing.
Yeah. So that's
a long
Corey
story.
Bush, but we talking with Dr. Keisha
Yeah,
Benson.
That's
this
Cora
morning.
Bush, senator.
Senator.
I mean, not she ain't a senator, she a congresswoman.
Congress. Okay, that's what's up. And so I want to talk about when you say advocating for teachers and school personnel, and your university union faculty member and founder of Family Friendly Pinellas. How does that background play into the work that you intend to do as a school board member?
No, absolutely. So I've been an educator, like I said, for over 10 years. So I've been in the classroom, and not just in the classroom, but I taught other faculty members how to teach. And at my university,
say that again. Let's bring that mic a little closer because I ain't really getting it. And put it right in front of you.
Now say it one more time.
Yeah, speak right into the top of it, right?
So I was able to get into faculty development and also teach other university professors how to teach. The university I was at teaching was Temple University, and we had a provost teaching academy. So it was the best professors across the university. And we were able to go into like more intense learning around what that looks like, classroom pedagogy, universal course design. And I became a faculty fellow at the Teaching Institute. And we created an Inclusive Diversity Institute for the university itself, where there were so many professors that said things are happening in the classroom and in the world that come up, and I don't know how to talk about it. When something blows up or this happens or a student has a question, I don't know what to do to address it.
Yeah.
And so we created a curriculum around that for faculty to go through that said, if these issues happen, or if this, this is how you address it, this is how you work around it, this is how you build rapport with your students. And I thought I would go on and run a teaching and learning center at one point.
Okay. Yeah.
But coming back here, I was able to become a chief learning officer and do some of that work in philanthropy. I'm sorry, the headphones are going in and out.
Okay. That's community radio. You gotta wiggle the cord. You gotta wiggle the cord.
That's why we need your donation.
Buy some headphones, y'all.
99 Jams, the bird.
Please, go ahead.
Tampa Bay Breakfast Club. Put Tampa Bay Breakfast Club name on the check. / headphones.
But I say all that to say that education is a big part of who I am. So my mother was an educator, my mother-in-law is an educator, my sister-in-law, my brothers, we're both college professors. And it's just an understanding of what that means to go out and teach. And to love on students. So I think the other thing for me is going to FAMU, the motto was excellence with caring. And people love me beyond the classroom. And I want to make sure that we're bringing that to the classroom as well. We have educators that really, really care about students and really looking at what that needs, but then also meeting their needs. We know right now that there is a shortage in school personnel. We know there's a shortage in educators. We know that they need so many things. So creating those environments for them to thrive and make sure that we have flexible work environments, that they have funding, that they have a living wage themselves,
right?
That they can afford to live here.
What do you think is contributing to this shortage on teachers? I saw something like in Hillsborough County, not Pinellas. I didn't hear them talk about it so much here, but they were saying it's like 300-400, teaching jobs.
Yeah, I think it was 400 teaching jobs.
What do you think is contributing to this shortage of teachers? Like where they at?
Yeah, no, it's much. I mean, they're here and they want to work, but I mean, so many things are going on, overall. So you think about a couple of years ago, it was COVID, and that was a hard time for a lot of people, and a lot of them wanted to drop early because of that. We have right now salary issues where people need a living wage to be able to afford to live in this county.
So
if you're traveling from Hillsborough to work in Pinellas, that's a lot of gas and time, and you can easily lose people that way. We have a housing crisis right now. So we think about the school board is starting to get into the affordable housing market and having that conversation. I think that could really incentivize educators in a sense as well. And then just the need to feel respected, to feel heard, to have that that pathway to get feedback, and then also to say that, hey, we trust you to do your job.
Right. How? Now that's what's up, y'all. You listening to the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club. We got candidate for school board District 3 countywide, Dr. Keisha Benson, in the building, y'all. Promoting health and safety in schools. We talked a little bit about the gun violence piece. What about this environmental health? Because we dealing with some environmental challenges. Like we got a school, particularly in Childs Park, that's blocks away from an oil refinery. Is environmental health another one of those things that you're concerned with and we should be concerned with as voters?
No, absolutely. That's one of my safety pieces for me. And I want to give a nod to school board member Caprice Edmond for bringing up some of that work.
Yes.
For you all, for doing that work in Childs Park.
Seriously.
So bringing that awareness here, I think people have to understand that, again, if kids can't go to school, I mean, learning is the most important piece of it. But if we're not looking at these environmental impacts above that, we have to know what environments they're walking into. So making sure that we're aware of that. And right now what's going on with Childs Park and bringing that awareness to the forefront and make sure the kids and the people in the community around have a living environment that's for them.
That's what's up.
Powerful.
And you said you designed some diversity, equity. You ain't say those words, but it's like the diversity program. And then recently, like it seemed like the governor of the state. We ain't gonna talk about it too much, but just this whole Stop Woke thing. What was the impact on the work that you've done, and how have you all been able to navigate continuing to have those conversations under, you know, these types of conditions? Because, you know, when the law changed, it kind of made people like really have to adjust the way you have these conversations. Has that been something that you have been thinking about? And if so, what were your thoughts?
Yeah, definitely. So I've looked at HB7 and some of the work that comes out of that bill, which is now called the Stop Woke Act. We know that right now there's some pieces of it that are in.
Yes, it's court. Yeah. Like a judge just blocked it, said he tripping. Yeah.
So we're going to have to see where some of that pieces go with that. But even just thinking about education, when we talk about some of the tenets of not wanting to indoctrinate children, I think all of us know we don't want to indoctrinate children, whether it be educators or parents.
Right.
No one is going in with that purpose.
Right.
So being mindful of when we talk about the importance of history, that we're giving a full history.
Yeah.
So giving our children their history, telling them who we are as America, as a young country, and what we've done is important for them to make future decisions.
Right.
You can't make decisions about what you want to do without knowing where you've been.
Right.
And I think it's important to have factual information in that piece.
Very important.
So going back to, no one wants to make a child feel bad. No one wants to make someone
uncomfortable. Yeah.
It's a matter of giving them the information, letting them be critical thinkers.
But when you,
and letting them be critical thinkers.
Let them be critical thinkers. But when you think about it, life makes people uncomfortable.
And
right?
reality makes people uncomfortable.
That's what I'm going to say. Like
the views expressed.
It's to Tampa Bay Breakfast Club, not
they know what all I got to do is say that, and once we say that, they know.
But when you think about this, you know, you say you don't want anybody to feel uncomfortable, but then we still have uncomfortable conversations all the time.
That's what the growth is.
That we don't feel like we have to hide from our children. And then in school is where you're supposed to be able to explore and read, and your dream. This is when you tell your child or your teacher tell your children that you can be anything you want to be. Right. And so when we stop that and stifle somebody's growth and their ability to dream by taking stuff out because we think that this makes somebody uncomfortable, what are we in school for?
Oh, there you have
it. I think we'll talk about this later.
That was a great point. Another one of the points on your platform is dealing with.
There we go.
Caller.
Thank you very much. Caller, you on the air. What's your name? What's on your mind?
Hey man, it's your brother Reno Moore in the building, man.
In the building.
Good morning.
I mean,
baby.
Peace and light, y'all. Questions to the doctor. I know I just got in the car. I just kind of got on the show. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I hear you good.
I thought I heard a prano in the background, so I was just making sure that everything's all good.
My bad.
And you did. Go ahead.
So Doc, I just want to know. I don't know if you have already dropped it, but what was the passion that led you to do what you do, as far as in teaching, and then also to get toward the school board to see that there was a voice that was missing from the school board from our area. What made you take that? What is it? Bite the bug.
Mm-hmm.
What made you take that leap of faith and get out there, first of all, in front of our children to teach? What was that passion coming from? And secondly, what made you get out and say, I want to run for school board to represent our community?
No, absolutely. Thank you. So education has been a part of my life since day one. My mother was a teacher, so I think I had perfect attendance K through 12.
When 12.
When I was off, she was off,
Right. That's right.
Wasn't no senior skip day for you.
Wasn't no senior skip day. So she kept us involved. I remember being an avid reader and her telling me one day, I can't afford to buy you any more books. Like you read a book in a day. And that was my first library card. And I remember just falling in love with books and literacy in that world and the ability to see that in other people, to teach and educate the next generation, especially as a social worker, because we're working with children and families. So to see the impact they're going to have for generations to come is just powerful. And I think for me, for school board, I have been given so much in life. As I said, when I resigned from my job, I was making a great salary. I had a powerful job in the community. I was loving what I was doing. But the ability to take every gift and talent I have and give it back to make sure that the next generation has the same opportunity. Yeah. So it wasn't because I was smarter than anybody else. It was because I had people that believed in me, that gave me resources and time and, and just poured into me.
Yeah.
And I want to be able to make sure that we have those opportunities for others across our county. So I always say it's not enough that my kids have a great education. I need to know that, Bobby down the street and Suzanne across the county have those same opportunities.
But that's rare though.
Right.
No, I like that. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I like what she said too, because a lot of times that's the missing piece is that we don't bridge the gap. You know what I mean? And then like leaders want to just lead and not put how I want to say it, like leave a diary or some type
like
of
the blueprint.
A blueprint. There you go.
Yeah.
It couldn't come out.
But that's right though.
A blueprint of how to get here because you don't want to be the only successful person. You don't want just your kids to be good because you could be selfish and be like, my kids good.
I'm good. Yeah.
They're good. But now
I
you're
like
no, I want everybody's child to be good because these are the future. You know what I mean?
Right.
These kids are the future. So
and my children interact with your child and vice versa. So having that child be well rounded, like when you said you read a book in a day, I can't read a book in a day.
Yeah, no, that's what I was gonna mention.
I need to work hard.
I was thinking that's probably the kindred spirit because I'm like that.
You read a book in a day?
Couple days.
See what I'm saying?
A couple days.
A day?
It take a couple days.
Well, I don't have that time.
I can't even sit down. I can't sit down long enough. I can't listen to an audiobook in a day.
Look, I'm a channel my Reno Moore. Don't say what you can't do, my brother.
I mean, I haven't done in the past.
You haven't figured out how to sit down and do it.
Thank you so much for the question.
No, he gone.
Hey, I haven't tapped into that side of my brain.
There you go.
But you tap into other creative sides.
I do.
This man make whole movies and write whole got 10 movies, but talking about what he can't do.
But you do listen. Wait, you listen to your books? Who listens?
I listen to audiobooks. Yeah, that's how
I'm trying. I'm trying, but it's different.
But it's not a day either.
I'm old school. Like, I like to flip pages. I want to smell it.
Yeah, it's a little different. I'm kind of like that too.
Yeah, Brother John be giving away books and stuff. Yeah, I got a good book for you.
That's kind of
that's kind of friend as it is.
That's the kind of friend I am. I'm the friend that'll give you a book as a gift, right? And tell them about that book we gave you. That was one of them.
You gave me 3 books maybe, but the one was Martin Luther King From Chaos to Community, or From Community to Chaos.
Yeah.
Boy, that gassed me up.
Yeah.
I swear, y'all don't even know the ammunition that book. Hearing Martin Luther King in his own words.
Yeah.
And talk about some of the stuff, it really gassed me up. I'm still gassed now.
real talk.
Give a friend a book.
Power of a book.
Give a friend a book.
Caller, you're on the air. What's on your mind? What's your name?
I just want to add that Brother John also is the type of brother that'll say write the book instead of trying to tell it to him because he ain't got time for it, man. Just write it down for me.
Just write it and send me the book. Send me the book.
I got a good idea.
Put it in the email.
Put it on paper.
Send it to me in the email.
So funny thing, that was our conversation off the air yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay.
The off-air conversation.
That was.
No doubt. All right, thank you for calling back, King Ree. So one of the things we want to talk about was the maximizing strategic partnerships, because that's another point of it. And so
that's powerful.
Yeah. So when you say maximizing strategic partnerships, what do you mean by that, and why is that important?
Yeah, we don't do this work alone. So the beauty in the work that I've done so far.
Caller, hold, please.
Caller, please hold.
So I think about even when I ran Grow Smarter and Thrive by 5 of others, it was 90 plus organizations across the county working together, getting together community stakeholders, getting together system leaders.
I remember Grow Smarter.
Municipalities and Thrive by 5 as well.
I was trying to, because we done a lot together. I forgot about that. That time we spent with Grow Smarter. That's right.
I remember that.
That's right.
I remember that.
Man, I need to do what I tell y'all to do. Right?
So it's a collective. Like there's no one lever to pull to make education what it needs to be. So all of us working together and looking at different ideas and diversifying ideas and really thinking about how do we come together and get past all the noise and the anger and the how do we come together for the kids? I love that former school board member Lou Williams used to keep the main thing, and the main thing is the kids. So coming back to that. And the district has a strategic partnership department. They have a new person over right now. Okay. So they're doing a lot of that work and making sure that I need their number.
Yeah. Because I got some strategic partnerships that these people need to do. I've been talking about this for years, and I get it to you right now.
Yeah, making sure that we have that at the district level and coming back.
All fair.
Okay.
Right. Right. Caller, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Good morning. Good morning. I want to welcome the doctor to our 99 Jam station. I am Professor Williams with the Youth Explosion on Saturdays. I'd love to ask her what's her thoughts on the critical race theory that they're trying to dismantle and get rid of in a lot of the schools today.
No, thank you for that. So critical race theory, as a professor, like it's not taught in K through 12. So again, I think we're starting to have conversations around, we're creating laws and legislation to stop things, but are they issues in our county? Are they issues in our state?
Keep the main
And
thing.
so I
the main
think
thing.
Let me back up real quick.
Yeah.
So critical race theory, the thing that they've been like the boogeyman that they made it's not taught through K through 12.
CRT is not taught in K through 12.
Okay, got it. I just want to make sure I heard that
not
right.
taught in K through 12 in Florida.
Okay.
Florida does have, and Pinellas County has CRT, which is culturally responsive teaching.
Okay.
And it makes me wonder sometimes if people are mixing up those acronyms in a sense. But culturally responsive teaching is something that Pinellas County does, and it's something that is needed to think about how do we make sure that we're having conversations around issues in a way that's respectful of the different cultures that we represent.
Right.
And that be whether who's in the classroom with us or who's been in history within America and what we have there. So I think those are important things to think about, that we have curriculum and books and educators and administrators that are representative of the students that we're serving in this county.
I love that. Thank you for that question, Colin. Are you listening to the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club right here on 99 Jams? We got our school board candidate for District 3 countywide, Dr. Keisha Benson, in the building, y'all. Give us a call if you got a question, 727-637-2416. But you got to keep your question to question because we're running out of time. It's a lot on here. Advocating for teachers and school personnel. I think we talked about that. Supporting all students and families. And I see all is like in bold. What do you mean when you say supporting all students and families?
So at the end of the day, I'm a social worker. And as a social worker, we have a code of ethics.
Caller, please hold.
And one of the things that we talk about that is in our code of ethics is the dignity and value of every person, regardless of who you are, that you are worthy of respect. You know, so when I think about my sister community, regardless of race, religion, ethnicity, sexual orientation, gender identity, ability, I will represent that child on the dais.
I got you.
I will make sure that I stand for the needs of all children. And I never knew that running for school board, the word all would be the thing that people would have issue with.
Really?
Are you serious?
That was the thing that has most surprised me in this campaign.
And you got it all, and you got it big too.
That people become angry when I say that I will serve all children. And that means every child and their needs and their families and their parents, and I will have respect for them and their viewpoints.
Right.
I think it's because people not used to all. They're used to people doing this or that, and when you say all, it gets scared.
Yeah, because I think people come to the dais with their own agendas, and for me, if you're not willing to serve all children, then you shouldn't be running for school board.
Do you think that? Okay, go ahead, caller.
Caller, you on the air? What's your name? What's
Hey, what's going on, y'all? This is King Jab, man. And
King
first
Jab.
of all,
Voice of the people.
Yes, listen to me like real carefully. As an unmotivated voter, I like to appreciate the doctor for coming up and speaking, because I was going to vote because of Caprice. Now I got to add her to my list because I'm really not excited what's going on right now. But I just like to thank her for her words and what she's saying, because like you guys know, but she don't know, I'm one of the lead volunteers at Lakewood High School, and it's important that what we do with these players and with these kids, because for me to go to Miami to take these boys to a football game and to hear the hotel staff and the restaurant staff talk about how memorable these boys is, it's important to me. It is important to us. So I appreciate her stances. I appreciate her coming on this platform and, reconfirming my vote, because she had it anyway. But, you know what I mean? Just reconfirming my vote because I like what she's saying. And I'm going to get off the radio. I'm just letting her know that I appreciate her because she did motivate me to go ahead and check that box.
Love it. Thank you for that, King Jab.
Hey, man, I love it when people say they inspired to vote. That's what good candidates do.
And I'm going to tell you, we have a lot of people come in. We've gotten more calls for you than we've gotten for me.
I was just thinking that, right? I wasn't going to say it because it would have been a Jabbar fact. But
it would have been a Jabbar
I
fact.
ain't seen the phone ring this many times.
Yeah.
And it's ringing.
It's something about Dr. Benson.
And I just want to say I thank you, too. Thank you for serving our kids and the work that you do. Like, I remember growing up here and going to the Youth Engineer Society on Saturdays or McNight Achievers. And those programs kept me. So thank you for the work that you do with our kids.
And then here's when we talk about, like, being a real parent, because we partnered, talking about strategic partnerships and all of that. So we partnered with Team Elevate, and we brought STEM Saturdays to Child's Park.
Elevate.
And her children are her children go to STEM Saturday.
Hey, I want to say big shots out to the Robertsons. I said your name right?
Yep.
Yes.
Man, listen, I'm inspired. You know, I'm a computer tech person, and what they're doing in Child's Park is unheard of.
Yes. Amber and Raphael, they getting it
Listen.
Good work. Them and Liz, yeah.
And Liz,
Inspiration.
the whole team.
Big shouts out to Liz.
And the brother Joe, I don't know Joe's last name, but he the one that opened up the computers. Like he ain't on none of the flyers, but when you get there, he got a computer wide open with all of the insides on the outside.
And I love that.
And he's showing the children how to put it back together.
I really love that. I swear I do.
So we got to land the plane. So if you had a final thought, final message to the people, what would it be?
Please vote. So school board is an election. It's a nonpartisan election. That means that even if you're an MPA, you can come out and vote in the school board election. So please come out and vote. This election can be won tomorrow with 50% plus one vote. School board could be over. If not, it will go on. The top two people, if no one gets the majority, the top two will go on to November. November in a countywide race is going to be a lot harder to win.
Okay.
It's going to be so that many more people that you got to reach, that many more people that you got to go out to. I'm knocking doors, calling people.
Yeah, my daughter met you at the door.
Every day.
They called me. They was like, some lady just came by here and say she know you.
Keep going. Keep doing the work.
Every single day. So, and the work is not done alone. I just want to thank everyone that's been contributing to this campaign and just really coming behind us in this work. And I hope that can be you too. But please show up tomorrow. Polls are open 7 to 7. You can go to votepinellas.gov and look at your polling site. And I just appreciate it. Appreciate all the work. And Keisha Benson for Pinellas County School Board, District 3 countywide.
Believe that. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take a real quick break and then come back with an announcement, some announcements, and just tell y'all like some upcoming things that's happening. And we'll be right back after this. Again, it's going to be like a short, maybe 2-minute break, and then we'll be right back to land the plane, y'all. You listen to the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club right here on
WUJM, St. Petersburg.
Hello, my name is Dr. Keisha Benson, and I'm running for Pinellas County School Board countywide. I grew up right here in Pinellas County. 6 generations of my family are here, and I enjoy spending afternoons in my grandfather's corner store by Melrose Elementary. I graduated from Lakewood High School, FAMU, and earned my second master's and PhD in social work from UNC Chapel Hill. I've been a social worker for over 20 years working with children and families. I'm an experienced educator and a college professor, and I have 3 young children currently enrolled in Pinellas County schools. I know that families like yours and mine are trying harder and harder to create a better future for our children, and we need leaders on our school board who will do just that for our kids from cradle to career. When we come together to support teachers, school personnel, and use data-driven programs, we will provide a quality education for all Pinellas students. I've been recommended by Tampa Bay Times, SEIU, Mayor Ken Welch, and other elected officials across our county, and I'm ready to work with you to make sure that every child in Pinellas County succeeds, no matter their zip code. Please vote Keisha Benson on or before August 23rd for Pinellas County School Board, District 3. Political advertisement paid for and approved by Keisha Benson, nonpartisan, for Pinellas County School Board, District 3.
All right, and welcome back to the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club. I'm your brother John.
This is Kiana.
And I'm the one and only Mr. Edmund.
All right, and so we just let the doctor leave. So caller, you're on the air, but she's gone. You there? All right.
Ain't no sunshine.
No, and when she's gone,
only darkness every day.
Every day. And so
But you know what I
that's
got
a mean song. That's a tough song. Go ahead.
But you know what I got from the doctor too? There was so much, but like these teachers are losing hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And how can you speak life when you don't have it yourself?
And I'm gonna tell you,
know?
It's a very hard job and it's a thankless job. Cause I could just imagine going to work and teaching and then having problems paying your own bills.
Right.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And then you committing your time and effort. I know teachers who work all day.
And then they giving their money, right? Like they actually paying sometimes for supplies and buying different stuff. Yeah, no, that's a real thing.
You know, when you think, because they're in these schools telling them like you can be anything you want to be, just go to school, do good, and then they have to go home and struggle with paying rent, like you just said. If they have to be in the line to get food for their household.
And listen how sad this is, right? So before the doctor came, we were talking about housing,
right?
And then some of the most hard hit in housing right now is teachers and students. And for the doctor to come in and just straight say, hey, teachers and students, they haven't paying their bills, and you know, it goes to speak to the issue why we was on City Hall steps.
Right. It
for
really,
the children and the families.
It's like full circle.
It's very
it
full
really
circle.
goes full circle. No, and I appreciate you lifting that up because, and she said it. It was like, you know, when we asked about why, you know, is there a teacher shortage? It's like because they leaving because they like they need more money.
They're going for higher ground.
Yeah.
They drowning in bills and debt, and they moving to higher ground.
Because you can go to other states and they have like these virtual schools that's paying like 90,000. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I was looking at it with somebody looking at different jobs in different states and just showing what the pay difference is when you know.
It'd be a big difference. They pay more. You know, cost of living is down lower, so people move around.
Right. All right, so we're gonna do some announcements real quick, y'all. Just want to let you know some things that's coming up, some opportunities for you to get involved. Last week at our neighborhood association meeting, the Childs Park Neighborhood Association members decided to create the Childs Park Neighborhood Stop the Violence Task Force. The first meeting of that task force will be tonight at 6:00 at the Childs Park Rec Center. So we're inviting anybody who's interested in doing that work around stop the violence, increasing the peace in the community. We're asking the question, what can we do? So we in that control what you can control type space. Like we understand that we're not trying to bring world peace, or we're not able to do it alone. So we want to be able to see how we can bring a positive change in our circle of influence. And if you'd like to be a part of that, join us tonight at 6:00 at the Childs Park Rec Center. Also on Wednesday, Black Men Rising, statewide call, continuing the conversation about housing and really just the impact of this housing crisis and what is the toll that it's taking on Black men. That'll be Wednesday at 6:30 via Zoom. And then Saturday, we have our Childs Park Neighborhood Wellness Walk. And the Wellness Walk is basically us promoting health and fitness. I think we're going to be joined by City Council member Lisa Willa Bowman. She's been back in the 1-a-day challenge. She had some health concerns, and so now she's walking it out, and I believe she's going to join us this Saturday.
That's real big shouts out to student council. I mean, student council, city council member.
City council.
So
she'll be joining us Saturday, and if y'all are welcome. And then STEM Saturdays, we mentioned it, but STEM Saturdays is back, y'all.
Welcome back.
STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. It's usually the second Saturday of the month, but we're going to kick it off on Saturday, September 24th at 11 a.m. at the Childs Park Recreation Center. I wanted to make sure that we got those announcements out to you. If you missed any of the program, or if you saw in the headline something that caught your attention, you can actually catch the replay. You go back to facebook.com/Tampa Bay Breakfast Club, and you'll be able to catch the replay as well. All right, y'all. What y'all got? Final thoughts?
Go out there. No, go out there and vote, right? Yep. Tuesday night, we're going to be here.
Yeah. Yo, that's right. Yeah, Tuesday night. So tomorrow night from 7 to 8. It's optional.
Listen, it's very important that y'all go out and vote. Yeah. I really want to come in tomorrow morning.
Okay.
Because I think the ride to work is important to let people know that they need to go vote by lunchtime or at the end of the day, because the important part of what we do, there is no vacation for like a day off for voting.
Come on,
people work every day.
There's no holiday.
There's no holiday.
Yeah.
You know, we got a holiday for everything. Even Christopher Colombo got a doggone holiday.
Right.
Who the hell is that? Christopher Colombo? Okay.
we know you're talking about.
Cristobal or whatever they call it.
Yeah.
But long story short, people got to make a way to vote. That's why we always talk about having a voting plan. You know what I'm saying? Knowing what you're going to do that day you wake up. Well, my plan is to go to work, and then on my break or after work, I'm going to leave a little early. Whatever your plan is, have a plan, take some people with you, and go vote tomorrow, y'all.
No, and I'll piggyback off of that. Have a plan. Like, we're talking about it now. If you didn't have one before now, sit down and really plan it out. Early mornings typically can be a little bit busier. Because people are trying to get it done before they go to work.
Even if you got to wait a little bit, man, go ahead and just kick up.
Lunchtime, you might not have as many people. In the evening, you're going to get more people. So the wait is going to be longer. So if you can plan these things out successfully so that you can vote, because it counts.
Yeah. Listen,
you know,
you can go network with people, meet somebody new, talk to them. Hey, how you doing? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So be
So
the
7
change.
a.m. 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. is when the polls are open. So it starts at 7, ends at 7, and then we'll be covering the results. But I like what you said. We should be in the morning. We probably could just turn on and do some virtual stuff. Let's talk about it out there.
We'll talk about it. Yeah.
But definitely we'll be here from 7 to 8. We're going to review the results tomorrow night and see who's moving on, see who was elected, and yeah, it's going to be a great program.
Special election edition. People don't know this show was conceived. The birth of this show came about. The birth of the show on 99 Jams.
Yeah.
It came about because of Amendment 4.
Right.
And we was doing the information, getting the word out, talking to the community every other day about Amendment 4 and getting out the vote for it. So it's only right that we do a special election, primary election conversation.
And because this is the primary, the good thing is the lines typically are not as long as
in the morning.
General.
Yeah,
as
that's
the
true.
General.
Oh yeah.
So like even though
less people come out.
we're saying like you have to wait a little bit. The wait is not that long.
Yeah.
During the primary.
I want to say something.
At my poll, there is no wait. Like when I go to my precinct, Shawty P, she's one of the poll workers in there. That poll POL.
Yeah, the poll.
L. Not POLE. She a poll worker. And I gotta say that. Like,
I ain't
John talking about
what
the poll worker.
I ain't thinking about it.
But yeah, no wait. You get in, you get right out.
See that?
Hey,
I want to say this.
Be the change. Go ahead. Go.
No, be the change. Go ahead.
No. Because remember we talked about this. Go.
How about okay? Yeah. You made the rule.
Okay, so my thought process was, you know what I'm saying, going out to vote. You know what I'm saying, making sure you go out and vote. Take somebody with you. Because I forgot what I was gonna say. It was very good.
Well, then he'll say it another time.
Yeah, that's
but
it.
be the change you want to be. Appreciate life. Hug on somebody. Spread the news. Share this. Tell somebody how important it is to vote. And at the end of the day, write down those 5 things. Right,
Okay.
that made you happy.
If voting wasn't important, why would they go through so much to suppress our vote? Why would they go through so much to make you feel disenfranchised? If marching and protesting wasn't effective, why would a city council member berate the sitting police chief about it? If change if change didn't come after a march or a protest, then change didn't come, y'all.
Come on, man. Let's drop the mic. Let them have that. I want to thank y'all as well. You got the message, man. I take the actions. Y'all take care, believe, and do good. I'm your brother, John.
This is Kiana.
I am the one and only Mr. Edmond.
Y'all have a great day.
WUJM, St. Petersburg.
Total Praise. That's right. Total Praise broadcasting live each and every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday morning from 9 a.m. until 12 noon. Fridays, 9 to 10:30 a.m.